Greetings, young kindred of the West. Yes, you find me wearing new clothes tonight. I have a passion for new beginnings, shall we say. Which brings me on to the last of the great Dharmas, and maybe the most important. I've told you how Tzu, the great Arhat, found all 5 of the great Dharmas and then passed them down. But how could he have found all 5? If he was he not on one himself? Well, if he was a thrashing dragon, how would he have also been a resplendent crane? How could this have happened? Well, there's one way that it could have happened. He could have been on the path of 1,000 whispers, the rootless trees. Yes. It is the Dharma dedicated to balance. Balance in all things. Balance between the yin, balance between the yang, balance between the hun, the upper soul, and the po, the demon soul. Everything in perfect balance. But not in that tedious, unmoving sense. No, this is a balance of active. One must embrace the yang with all the passion that one can, and then turn to the yin and meditate deeply upon its meaning. Rise up above in a compassionate human soul, and then let the demon run wild. For this is the path of 1,000 whispers, the path that seeks to find enlightenment wherever it may be found, everywhere. Anything is an insight, every other path is an insight, and every opposite of every other path is an insight as well. Those who travel along this path, they create personas, mortal personas, life. And then they travel it for a while, indulging fully in the life of a CEO, in the life of a beggar, in the life of an abused woman, in the life of an abuser. All must be played until they are played out to the very end. And then when you get to that very end, it must be shattered. The life that you have lived must be eradicated. Only its insights move on. Have you loved? Have you hated? Forget it. Those hatreds and those loves are but memories. They are characters in a story. And you may in future kill the one you loved, or love the one you hated, or the reverse, but it will not be for those reasons. It'll be for new reasons for your new life. Yes, there are hundreds of lives. Some are lived but briefly. Like, what would it be to try this role? I want to be a geisha tonight. What's a life like that be? And then it's gone. Or it might be something more permanent. I want to see my grandmothers. I want to my grandchildren. I want to aspect myself to yang so strongly and root myself so strongly that I can have children and I can see my children's children, and I will be the ancient grandfather of that clan. And then it will shatter. And in that case, I happen to know that they came back as a warlord and burnt down the village that they had so painfully constructed. Not out of hatred, just because that's what warlords do. But think of all the insights you can get, while others are restricted to one path, to just one virtue. These, you can indulge in all virtues. And that is the problem. It is a very easy path, such a powerful and intoxicating path, but it's so easy to fall off it. You can fall off it if you fail to shatter your previous lives, your previous masks, if you fail to move on. Or you can fall off it if you indulge too much and do not learn from it. If you just get lost in all these different paths, you must shatter the lives and you must bring it back to you. And alone of all the paths, except maybe the Song of Shadows, we live death. We live death again. Oh, did I say? My cunning plan to conceal my Dharma seems to have dramatically failed. But anyway, yes, we live death. I have died, not just the little death before the second breath, but I have died 5 times yet, and each time I was convinced that there was no coming back, or that there was likely no coming back. Only in accepting the death, not just the death of your masks, but the death of yourselves by traveling into the shadow world, expecting never to return, can you transcend, can you go up. And the most wonderful thing about our paths, there is always new things to learn, new paths to travel as the world turns, as empires fall, the resplendent cranes try to cling on to the old way of doing things. But for us, a new mask to wear. Foreign barbarians invading, a new mask to wear. What was it like? I was a minister for a period. Not the most exciting of my lives. I did end up drunk and alcoholic, as I felt was appropriate, but there was a certain magnificent religious Christian guilt. That was my lesson that I took there. Then I shattered it, as we must all. But that is what living is. You think that you are the same person you were a year ago, you're not. You think you're the same child that your parents bounced on their knees, you're not. You think you were the person you were before you were a vampire, you most definitely are not. You have a sequence of masks that you have learned from, and the only thing that differentiates us is that you refuse to shatter the mask. You refuse to move on, learn the lesson, and try something new. You cling to consistency. Not my favorite word, as you'd imagine. But anyway, I just wanted to thank you. Our conversations have been most illuminating. Most instructive. I have tarried far too long with this face, and it is time that I get a new one. And I know just the face that I want. Thanks so much.